So if you're in the market for a new bike computer, the Magene C506 could be what you're looking for. Keep watching the video to find out the full details about this brand new computer. So my Wahoo Element bolt I've been using over the last 5 years or 6 years is on its last legs. There's screen degradation and I can see black spots on the screen and things like that. So I'm in the market for a new computer, and luckily Magene sent me this C506 to review and see what I thought of it. So although they've given it to me, it is my own thoughts on this computer. So the C506 comes in minimal packaging. It's got a small box. Inside the box you get the head unit and the other things you need to run the computer. But in the hand it feels nice and solid straight away, and it weighs about 75 grams I think. In the box you get the main head unit obviously. You also get a leash to attach it to your handlebars in case it should fall off. You get O-rings to mount it on your handlebar with a connector, and then you get an extra connector to plug into any head unit mount you've got, and a USB-C cable. The unit itself comes with a 2.4 inch colour screen, which does come up really nicely, and even in bright daylight you can still see it pretty well. So here's the head unit, nice, small and compact as you can see, and it's about the same size as a Wahoo Element bolt which I've got. Very similar size, as I said, 2.4 inch screen. It's also fully Wi-Fi compliant, so it links to your Wi-Fi. It's really easy to link to your phone through Bluetooth. It's waterproof to IPX7, which is pretty good. It's Type C USB connector. It also has smart notifications, so if you have a phone call or messages, they can come up on here. You can also use it to run your smart trainer, whether it's doing a workout that you've uploaded, or recreating a route that you've uploaded to the phone, and it just synchronizes with Strava when you finish your ride, which is quite nice, and various other things too, like training peaks. When you first turn it on, you will get a QR code that comes up on here. You need to download the One Lap Fit app from the App Store or wherever you get your apps from. And then once you've scanned the QR code, it links to the phone, and then you can use the phone pretty much like Wahoo computers, where you link it to the phone and you can control the head unit from there and change lots of settings, which we'll look at in a minute. But it's pretty easy to do. Once you've scanned that QR code, you just follow the on-screen prompts, and pretty soon your head unit is set up and ready to go. So as you can see, everything pretty much is run by the app, which is the same as lots of bike computers nowadays. It's pretty straightforward to use, quite intuitive. It's easy to put in your bike, and also as you can see, you can click on routes and put routes in if you need to go somewhere. I don't think the unit actually has mapping on it as such. You have to use your phone to then set a route, and then you can follow the GPS as usual. Putting sensors in is pretty easy. As you can see, there's quite a comprehensive list of sensors you can use, and power meters, things like that. Setting up a route, as I said, is quite a simple thing to do, and also setting up things like using linking to Strava so it automatically uploads your rides is a pretty straightforward thing to do. One thing of note is when you go in your ride type, that's where you can change the pages on your computer and set them up. I think you can have 10 pages and you can set them up to show whichever metrics you like. It's a really simple process to do, and on the screen it's really nice and clear. And it is very responsive, so when you're swiping one way or the other, pages respond well. And as you can see, when you're testing it in water, or with water, it still is able to function. Thing is, if it is very wet, or if you've got gloves on and you might not be able to swipe that easily, you can use the button down here which goes through the pages. So you can just use your button, which is quite nice. If you want to stop the ride, you can just click on that icon at the top and end your ride. As you can see, it responds pretty well to touch screen, and buttons respond pretty quickly. Uploading of rides is really easy. Basically, once it's set up in the app that you've linked it to, Strava or Training Peaks or whatever, whenever you finish, it just automatically uploads it to Strava. Battery life seems pretty good. I've gone out for 2-3 hour rides and come back and the battery's still at 70%. So that's pretty good going. I haven't fully tested it, but I think it's probably on par with most smaller head units.
So I've been using the computer for a couple of weeks now and I found it really effective. It tracks my rides pretty well as I would want. I can link it to my power meter. I can link it to my electronic gears so I can see what gear I'm on or what battery percentage I've got. Really, for a small computer, it does everything I need. I've been used to using a Wahoo Bolt, and obviously it takes a bit of time getting used to new controls and new positions of buttons and the way things are done. But actually, in its effectiveness, as I said, of recording my ride, it's great. I really can't see why I'd need anything else other than this. And if you want to do mapping, you need to have the phone linked to it. So if you want to go to a destination like the Bolt, you use your app to find that destination and upload a route. So if you're used to using something like that, you'll find it very easy to use. When I first turned it on, I was a little worried of the screen sort of resolution, but actually when you're out on the road like now, I can clearly see what power I'm doing, what my heart rate is, without having to get close and look. And you can make those things bigger by changing the setout on the screen or the layout. And for the price, which is probably around £140, something like that, it does everything I need it to do. If you're looking for a computer that basically records your rides, tell you how fast you're going, where you're going, you can use it as a sat nav. It uploads rides to Strava. It links to power meters, heart rate meters. You don't necessarily need anything more. If you've been used to something like a high-end Garmin that does everything you could possibly wish it to do, it might not fulfill that role, but for the average cyclist, it's probably more than you'll ever need. It certainly does all the things I've used the computer for the last 10 years. So as I said, it may not have the full functionality of a £300 or £400 or dollar computer, but when it comes to covering the basics, it does it really well. So if you're interested in finding out more, go to the Magene website. I'll link it in the description below, and you can see what you think of the details. If you've got any questions, don't forget to drop them in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video and like to see more like this, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, bye for now.